What's up, traders? My name's Andrew Rohack. Welcome to my weekly review. I'm a little behind. We're going to go to last week. Today is the 17th. We are going to go back to, I believe it was the 10th. I forget what the dates were, but we're going to go back into last week. It's now Wednesday, and go over last week's trading week, review some of the things that I did well, things that I did poorly. But before we get to that, I want to go over a couple different things with you real quick. If you aren't aware, you can catch the Black Shirt Club, the coaches doing their streams on ASFX TV every morning, or if you're in on the other side of the pond, you can catch them at 3 or 5 a.m. You have to check the calendar. You can get a 7-day free trial. I think it's a 7-day free trial. It's $10 a month. Trade live with us, not with me personally, but with the coaches on ASFX TV. Mention the Black Shirt Club. This is, if you're looking for a mentorship, I can't stress this enough. Doing this alone, though possible, is not the easiest thing, right? Doing it with a group, with people who have experience, whether it's big experience, small experience, long-term, short-term, whatever it might be, getting that additional perspective in this space is very oh my god, it's just invaluable. When I struggle to find words, getting help in the trading space is invaluable. For me, just coming right out of the gate, getting into a mentorship has made things move a lot faster than had I just been trying to do this alone with books. I think I've said this before. It's just, that is the way to go. You need a coach. You shouldn't be afraid to ask for help and get another perspective and get some insight into what you're doing. I mean, maybe what you're doing is up to this point has been great, but you need that extra little push. This could be the piece that you're missing in your trading space. All right, so that takes care of ASFX. And then I'm trading with Top Step and my funded futures currently. I'm strictly trading futures at the moment. I've got two 150Ks and a 50K, 150 and a 50K with Top Step, and 150K with my funded futures. My funded futures right now is running a special in April for, I believe it's $50 a plan. Where we go here? You can see it's 75% off. So it's $50 with the coupon for any of the starters. And that's across the board, 50K, 150K. Like, you could just get any of these for $50 a month. And then the reset fee is $50 each time you need to reset it. So great deal. And if you don't already know the Top Step deal, it's basically 10%. So 150K is 150, 100 month, 100K, $100 a month, etc. So that's what we've got going on there. Those are the two spaces. All right, let's get into the trades. Let's go to the calendar first real quick. So as you can see, just kind of not the greatest week going on. Had a good start and then a poor today. But going through last week, 0.13, 0.27, 0.16, 0.13, and 0.24. Ending the day in the green. If we just go to a quick date range here from the 7th to the 13th, you can see up 0.67%. That's a pretty solid week for me. Not really disappointed about that. Going back to Monday's two trades, it's a win and then it's a loss and then a quick win, right? So took this trade here on the break, didn't really like that it wasn't quite taking anything higher, then closed quickly once it broke back below the daily, and then got back in when it broke back above. Stop loss put below the structure, closed when we finally did break above this high of year, or this all-time high VWAP, right? This green line. And then close the remainder here when we got up top. So I think I kind of went over that trade on my last video where I talked about the 21 trades, that's another thing, right? So I took 2 trades on Monday, 10 trades on Tuesday, 21 trades on Wednesday, like just really getting out of hand, but we're going to get to all that. So this was Tuesday's trade, right? April 9th. Let's verify. Yeah, this is Tuesday's trade, right? So took this, trying to take this on the break of the high of day here, and then just getting in way late, not realizing that there's a zone here that we clearly did not hold, and I am now just in heat taking all this drawdown. Same asset. No, excuse me. This is the Russell. Trying to take this on the break, gets above, pulled when it got below. Could have waited, could have had a break-even trade, but still smart to pull. There was just no buyer strength there. Just the bottom just fell out from underneath that. Here we've got the Russell again. Now I'm trying to take this short. Looks like I'm short here. That's my entry. Just for some reason, this slid over. I entered in on this candle as it was pulling back, held into it, and then it just went into profit and then sold both contracts here at that low. So it was a quick win on that trade. We are still on Tuesday. This is NASDAQ. Just took this quick long back into yesterday's low, just a very quick scalp. And this is sort of the tipping point for me, right? This is where all of a sudden I start just trying to find these tiny little scalps where I can throw a couple contracts in, eke out $200, $300, $400, $500, depending on, where how far it can actually move with those few contracts, and start scratching out quickly. And I'm going to pull up the rap sheet just to go over it in a minute here, because it really is, it's a spectacle. It's messy to me. And I'll get into a call that I had with Austin, who runs the Blackshear Club, my coach, a conversation that I had with him about some of that stuff, and just it's messy, and I don't like it, and I'm beating myself up over it, though I know I shouldn't. Before I get too deep into that, so this is still Tuesday. This is ES. This is I tried getting long here, closed out here probably for roughly break even, maybe a small loss, and then took this short on the break. Got in very late. This should have been my entry up here. The stop loss is still good, holding this structure. Had to waited for it, saw it hold the daily, which was awesome, and then just into profits. Thought maybe I could eke more out of this. Thought maybe this was going to consolidate and then just like rip through this low of day VWAP that we have here in purple. As we were finding support, I think this is the high of day, and then this is today's New York Open VWAP that we have here. Again, below yesterday's low. I'm looking at this as like, all right, this is the second break. Maybe this is going to keep running. That's why I didn't close here. Like this is kind of like bullish structure here to me, like kind of reversal. Instead, I got fortunate. There was another push down, and once it didn't make another lower low here on this little bit of a push, that's when I pulled the trade. So again, nice little bit of profit. I think that is my last trade. That's the last trade on Tuesday, and then we start getting into these lists. I have big markups of like all these trades because it was just too much to get individual trades. I'll just go rip through each of them individually, right? So now I'm up almost 0.5% on the accounts. We can actually take away the my funded futures because I really didn't trade that much last week until Friday. You can see I'm up with just those two accounts, between the two of them, up about 0.5%. And now let's get into Wednesday. So Wednesday we took 21 trades, all of them on ES, and it's such a mess, man. Like, did we print it? Yeah. So these are the first 3 trades that I took. And again, in the previous video, I went over these. So if you've seen this already, you can just skip ahead. It's really not that big of a deal, right? So, but just to kind of quickly go over it, we had news. I believe this was CPI. It was definitely CPI. Ripped lower, got some consolidation here. Caught this quick, like I just saw these arcing pins, right? And just saw that there was going to be like this another big sink. So caught in here, pulled the move. When it kind of bottomed here, I think I exited somewhere close to this on, as it was pulling back before the big pullback. So I caught these profits. And then when it kind of comes back and doesn't really sink any lower, it actually kind of bounces off of these. Like we have this low of day and prior low of day VWAP that I have in here. When it tries to get below and then gets pulled back up, that's where now I'm kind of looking at this from a long perspective. I get in long here thinking that we're going to go back to the daily, or at least maybe back to this news VWAP. So when it starts to pull away, I lock the stop thinking that it's just going to, maybe pull back here and keep going. Instead, I got tapped out for a break even. Not a big deal, right? So after that, now we break back below the low of day. I get in here, pull a contract and add one back in here. Still convicted, having some conviction on the shorts being the play. Ride this down, sell one contract here. And then when we're not really breaking any lower and we're just kind of consolidating here, especially just there wasn't really a lot of sell strength here at this point, I just pulled the trade here. So real quick, going back to those 3 trades, boom, look, I did actually eke out $100 on that. So I'm up $1,500 on 3 trades to start the day. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Haven't even hit the New York Open. I could just walk away from the desk at this point. I'm up. I don't need to sit here and keep trading. I mean, again, like, just depending on the amount of risk that you put on, when's enough? When can enough be enough, right? So unfortunately, wasn't for me. I kept trading 945 and 950 after the open. I lose all my profits. I'm in drawdown, and oh, I'm pissed. I want to get it back, right? So if we close up that, here's the rest of the trades, right? So I try to take this long. This is at night. This is after the open. So the open instills some sort of pullback. We're back above the daily, which is this solid black line now. And cut that trade real early as like we're not ripping back up. And then I wait and I missed this short, right? Could have taken this short. Didn't want to get in because we have yesterday's low zone here, which, you know, hasn't really been broken and held. And then after we do break it and we consolidate back up and we get back to the daily, I'm like, all right, well, sellers really haven't shown back up. Maybe this is where buyers want to take this back higher. And I try to take this back into the all-time high VWAP. And instead it just kind of chops around here. And I think I close that for a donut. Take this quick short. That's where I scalp some sort of a win. And then another short here that I didn't hold into. Quickly tried to call the reversal. I don't know what I'm thinking there. And just what a mess, right? So chop myself around. I think I'm missing a couple of those. There were a couple scratches in there that I'm missing, but you can see, I mean, I did eke out another win. And if you look at this graph up here, like you kind of just see exactly how it goes. And this doesn't show it the best because I believe I know why. Okay. So one of these shorts was on my 50K account, this 1050. If I take that out, the rest of these are actually all on the 150K account. So I was up on the 150K, ripped it all out, and then added it all back in. But this $1,000 loss was on the 50K account, which that's the max daily loss, which is the short that I took after right here. So this is on the 50K, right? So here's everything that happened earlier on the 150. And then once we get in here, I'm trying to now take this short on the break of the low of day, but it's over. It's done. So I missed out on that, lost, hit the max daily loss limit on that, couldn't trade that the rest of the day. So I just went to the 50K and just went nuts, went crazy, just chopping all this up in every which way possible. And that's just not like really what it should have been. There should have been an anchor here. And when we broke back below that, especially considering the daily, it probably would have been sitting somewhere right in here. I should have been short on the break of it over here, or just held this short, because I'm pretty sure we went lower. All right, so moving on. So that's Wednesday, right? Yeah. 21 trades. Trying to clean my act up. We move on to Thursday, trying to be a little bit better. Like I said in my review video of that day, be a professional, execute your plan, plan the trade and execute the plan, right? So that's create the thesis around what you want to do and then execute it. Here we have me trying to take this long off of a bottom. I see this double bar, like this down up bar, right, as being a rejection of yesterday's low. So I try to take that long, thinking maybe that's a reversal. Quickly cut that trade, try to take it short when it breaks back below the low of day. Unfortunately, not the play. And Austin on within the chat and on stream, we were actually, no, this is well before stream, but within the chat, he was long here. He sat through all of this, kind of in profit, even when I think he closed the contract up in here and then closed it before it got to the news. And we talked about kind of holding in and just look at this. As soon as the news hits, you probably would have been taken out. But regardless, like this big, actually, no, it just was straight up and then it came back. So you could have been tapped for profit. But either way, just back and forth, chopped myself up, took only those 2 trades. After that, I had a busy day of appraisals. I'm a real estate appraiser is my main gig. So I quickly just exited out of all trading view and all that kind of stuff. I just walked away from the desk and just figured I wasn't coming back after that. So again, just kept my losses to a minimum with just 4 trades and then took 6 trades the remainder of the week. And that actually included a couple different assets, right? So excuse me. Hang on, let's have a look. It's still just ES. All right, so let's go back. So this is what the plays should have been, right? So this is still Thursday, right? After I've had a couple losses. I'm not at the desk anymore, so I'm not here to take any of these. But we get that 8:30 news, right? Pushes us higher. The way I was looking at it was anything back at this news anchor would have been a good spot to buy. And I feel like I might have been at the desk and watched this happen, but just wasn't in a position to take a trade. And just missed out on that opportunity. And then once we set this high, I mean, this is well over 1R. Now it's clearly sellers, buyers are weakening. We get below the news anchor. here, and we're just kind of chopping around between the two and try to make one last ditch effort to get above. Can't. Now I'm looking at shorts. Once we break below, game's on, man. Let's throw a stop at the high of these where we couldn't get above this high of day anchor, so we have plenty of means of getting out of this trade if it does want to go into drawdown. But it's just straight up profit for 30 minutes, 40 minutes there. So no, not even. What am I saying? 15 minutes, and you're at 2.5 R on this trade. So that's how the Thursday should have went. Should have waited for the news. Most of my best plays come after the open, and after things kind of settle down, give it that 30 minutes to just kind of play out, let the volatility eke its way out, find that trend, trade with the trend, and then move on and wait for a power hour in the afternoon. This is later in the day, right? This is after the shorts. Excuse me. I wasn't in either of these trades, but they look pretty damn good, don't they? I mean, just tightening that low of day VWAP, high of day, all of it kind of converging right here. This is just later in these are my afternoon plays, right? So this is like a late morning, and then you got this afternoon long with this is where the entry would be. You don't know that it's going to chop around for the next hour before it gives you these A2s off of this VWAP, right? So you would enter in here, you'd have to endure some of this chop. Maybe you're closing one contract or half the trade here, but you can still add back in once we get back above here. The price is actually a little bit better than the initial entry. You could, if you're really convicted on the longs here, you could add in on this A2. So now you're in it a couple different times, and then boom, it just pops off. So it's a nice hold above the daily, above this range here. You're just seeing a lot of support for this, for the longs. So that's the afternoon plays. Those were Thursday's afternoon plays. I wasn't in those trades. Here are Friday's trades, right? So another 6 trades. Is that what I had? Yeah, 6 trades. Was how many of them were? I think one was a loss, right? Yeah. So one loss, and then the rest of them are winners. And they're all just there's one good winner in there, and the rest of them are all these tiny little scalps, which is irritating. And this, again, going back to the things that I'm just not doing right now, which is I'm trying to just keep on catching these little scalps in between. And it's really frustrating because they're not perfect trades. I'll get to that in a minute. So real quick, I try to take this long off of this low of day anchor, and then we break. So I quick switch my bias on this hold. This is where I had that $200 loss. I take that short, quickly make 650 on the rip down here, close it out. We're through 1R. I'm not going to try and hold on to this and be greedy on it, because there have been times where I try to be greedy and I end up getting stopped out for a donut. So instead, I just take my profits, let it play out the rest of the way. Try to take a short again here. Probably not the best idea. And I closed that quickly for, I think that was a one for $137 in profit. Then I try and take it long up here, when it's breaking back above. I cut that one early too for small profits when I could have actually held on to that and made 1R. And then I tried to get it back in long again and cut it, realizing we're back at the daily. This isn't going to cut through the daily. Buyers aren't going to take control. Sellers are about to gain some strength again, as you can see as this plays out. And then I get in here and I pulled this trade super quick. Don't really know why. And I had to go back because I didn't mark this up. I was just going nuts, just between work and taking way too many trades to be able to mark them up and give my actual thoughts. And this is where the frustration comes in, is that I'm not putting enough thought into the trade to have the markups to generate the thesis. It's like doing math problems at school. And the teacher, you have the answer right, and the teacher's like, oh, this is great, but you didn't show your work, so you have to show your work. That's how I feel like I'm trading, where I'm on the right side of these. I see which way things are going, but I have not shown any of my work on any of this stuff. And it shouldn't frustrate me, but in a way it does. So, I see this, that we get the break, I get the good entry, it holds, and I cut the trade real quick for small profits, where if I just held on to it, this quickly just slides way out. I think this was actually a 3R trade that I could have been in. I could have been in it twice, because when it pulled back here and was holding that previous low anchor, that should have been a reason to be all right, sellers definitely aren't, they're still holding onto this. So that's last week's trading week. As you can see, this week kind of going a bit sideways here. I'm still up on the week, but I'm actually not. Had today story time. Let's back this up a little bit. So where I'm finding frustration right now, like I said, is not having the thesis. I'm not coming in showing any work on the trades. Like, I want to treat this in a more professional manner. I want to be prepared for what trades I want to take throughout the day and execute those trades as they present. And be able to actually, journal those trades. And I'm going to have to go back into these and really be, find the specifics that made the good trades right, even if I cut them early, and where the bad trades are wrong and why I need to get rid of them. And what I need to look for going forward to keep myself out of certain trades, away from the messy stuff. Unfortunately, again, I cut those trades really quick, saved myself massive drawdown where it's like I'm giving things back. And what I was telling Austin is like, I feel like I'm cheating the system because I'm like throwing risk on, but I'm not holding hard into it. I'm just cutting things quickly, or I'm letting them pop off real quick for like 0.2, 0.5 R and taking the profits. And it feels like I'm kind of cheating the system. And the conversation I had with him is like, am I being too hard on myself? Because here I am finding a profitable way to trade, right? Like there's more green on this grid, on this calendar, than there is red. That past week was an 80% day win rate. Like, I only lost one of those 5 days, 60% trade win rate, 1.53 profit factor, and a 1.2 win loss. Like, the numbers across the board are pretty damn good, but they didn't quite fit. Some of the trades that I took didn't quite fit the best edge that I know that I can trade, right? So now I had to ask Austin, like, am I just being too hard on myself? And he said I am. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't be proud of the fact that I'm making progress, like I'm finding a way to be profitable. Now, that being said, today things caught up with me, down 1.12%, kind of chop myself up a little bit, trying to be on the right side of some of these things. And I have to go back and I have to look at these entries. The biggest thing that kind of got me in trouble today was the fact that I sized up hard, trying to catch like a couple ticks for big numbers as opposed to the big side of the moves. And that came back to bite me in the ass. So we're going to go over all that at some point here, but not today. We'll wait until the end of this week. Let me finish up Thursday, Friday, see how I do. I had a ton of work come up on the appraisal side of things. We're in the thick of real estate market heating up here for the spring. So it was a stressful week last week, to say the least, in terms of my appraisal side of the world. Now that I've got that all cleaned up, I'm looking at 2 good days here where hopefully, fingers crossed, the indices can actually figure this shit out and give me some serious trend, which I have to go back and look at today. It looks like the shorts were definitely in play today, but I had to walk off the desk after blowing my shit up this morning, and just really poor trading. So you have to tune in at the end of the week to see that review. If you have any questions about any of the trades that I took, please leave them in the comments section below. Follow me on Twitter, TraderAMR. I am going to be posting my trades. I need to find a way to hold myself accountable to actually taking good trades instead of just trying to like hit these quick scalps that, again, just, it's like if they win, I'm proud of it, so then I'll post it. But if like I take it three times and I scratch those trades, I'm not posting any of that stuff. And it's like, well, I was in it 3 different times. So like you kind of can't ignore the fact that you were in and out and in and out and in and out, and then like actually were in when it went. So follow me on Twitter if you want to follow along with more of that stuff. And that's, that, like I said, that's where I'm going to be calling out most of my trades. And if you have any suggestions on things that you'd like to see in videos in the future, please comment below. Let me know. Love to get some feedback from you guys. And I'll catch up with you guys next week. Have a good one. Trade safe.